On Tuesday, the Supreme Court began a suo moto hearing of the rape and murder case of a resident doctor in Kolkata. A bench, headed by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud, expressed shock at what had happened with the 31-year-old at RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital. The Supreme Court said that the nation cannot await a rape or murder before real changes take place on the ground, and they also made an appeal to protesting doctors to resume work.
We have seen the Supreme Court verdict and we appreciate, especially women doctors. I think it's a very, very germane step and certainly a one step forward. But what the profession has been looking for is a central law. What IMA intervened in the process is for a central law. It has not been addressed. It actually the self ministry has come with an explanation yesterday why it cannot be done. That's not acceptable. We are not accepting it. We are until we get a central law by an ordinance, the struggle will continue.
After news of the brutal case emerged on August 10th, doctor protests have erupted across the country. Amidst calls for justice for the victim and her family, protesters are also demanding the immediate implementation of a Central Protection Act, which could ensure better security for healthcare workers.
All I want to say is that it is not our intention to harm anybody or to bring any sort of pain or misery to anyone, which is why we are continuing all the emergency services. Unfortunately, to get heard, to get attention, we need to disrupt some services. That is the only way our voices can be heard. And I do feel that it is we are within our rights. It's totally reasonable for us to ask for some extra special protection for doctors, for nurses, for all healthcare workers, because we do work in a special environment where we face patients, we face their relatives. They're in a very heightened emotional state when they come to us, and their reaction is sometimes understandable. But I don't think that anybody deserves to be treated violently. Anybody deserves to be violated. Especially in their place of work where we put in so much effort to reach.
But what is this act, also called the CPA? For years, doctors have been demanding a central law for the protection of medical workers due to increasing cases of physical and verbal attacks. This would provide them with uniform protection across the country and ensure more robust legal recourse. 25 states have laws in place for protection of doctors, but the implementation is inefficient, as per a recent letter by the Indian Medical Association to the Health Ministry.
Because honestly, this is something that has been happening time and again. And every time something is said, nothing is promised, nothing goes ahead, and then the incident reoccurs. So one thing is that we want an act to be passed by the central government and then hopefully by all the state governments in support of it, that violence against doctors will not be tolerated. There will be some heightened punishments. There will be guaranteed redressal, or if not redressal, then we will get a valid explanation as to why someone was not caught or punished for hurting. And not only doctors, frankly, we want it for all healthcare personnel. Take it from nurses, paramedical staff, therapists, nutritionists, dietitians, ASHA workers who are working in the field, Anganwadi workers, health workers in the field, like everybody who has contact, like Doctor said, with people who have heightened emotions and are likely to be affected while providing any care to patients.
The Supreme Court formed a 9-member task force to formulate effective recommendations to remedy the issues of concern pertaining to safety, working conditions, and well-being of medical professionals.
So also in 2022, when last time similar strikes was like we asked for CPA, the government had made this committee. And in the winter session, when one of the doctors from Kerala asked for an RTI that what happened about this, he just got a reply that we did not find it important enough to be considered in the parliament. So like right now, we really don't want it to end on a committee and then nothing to happen. And then again, another protest to happen a few years later because something like this happened again.
And definitely, whenever Central Act will come, it will create an impact. Moreover, the states where this act is already existing, even in those states, many of the police person do not know anything about this kind of act, and the implementation of this act is very poor. So only making act is not enough for the government, but making act and then implementing the act properly will definitely make the difference.
The CBI has been directed to submit a status report of its investigation into the crime by Thursday. The case will be taken up for a resumed hearing on August 22nd.
See, the only institution which has so much of respect across the nation is the Supreme Court. It has spoken what it has said, that it will give our daughters safety and security. We trust. We trust. So the space that our daughters have taken in this society and nation should not be lost. They should work, whether it is night or day, public place, private place, everywhere they must be safe. And we should create conditions that all public spaces are safe for our daughters. I will certainly address the parents. We need to trust the Supreme Court. I am sure that they will provide our daughters the safety they deserve to work 24 hours in whatever way they want to occupy that space, be equal to men in all profiles. We need that law, we will have that.